Hi, I'm Kate, and today I'm watching The Haunting of Hill House, Episode 2. So I went into this show without any expectations. I wanted something scary to watch for spooky season, and this is a show my brothers have been trying to get me to watch for forever, so the timing just felt right. But after that first episode, I am hooked. Not only the mystery of the house, but also the family and their dynamics. When it comes to the house, I want to know more about the Hills. Is there a specific reason why they built this house? What were they doing there? What happened to them? Then who or what is haunting the house? And then the Dudleys. Who are they? Why are they connected to this house? Why were they the only people kept on as caretakers? Then when it comes to the family, in the present day we're seeing them spread out across the country. And specifically we see that the youngest two children are the most affected by what went on in the house. All of them are dealing with the trauma in their own way and individualized ways. They don't seem to be working together as a family unit or trying to work through what happened to them together. They all seem to be kind of on their own. But again, specifically, the younger two seem to be the most traumatized. We see the youngest, Nell, actually seeing and experiencing paranormal activity, and we saw Luke, the next youngest, who is now an addict, drawing paranormal things that he saw. I would love to see more of the flashbacks to see if any of the older children experienced anything as well, but they seem to be, again, still haunted but by what happened, but less traumatized as the youngest two. And then when it comes to the mother, in the flashbacks that we saw in the first episode, she seems very calm, cool, collected, unbothered. But the night of the incident, she dies. And the newspapers and the police say it was, self-inflicted. She did it herself. But we're always told about the bent neck lady. We see the bent neck lady, and the mother is found hanged. So in the flashbacks, if we see more flashbacks, are we going to see her mental health decline? Are we going to see that she was affected and bothered by what was going on? Again, just from what we saw, she just seemed very calm and, again, unbothered. I really like the father. He seems to really love his children, and we can see that he's always there for them no matter what time of night they're calling. And also in the flashbacks, we see that he was brave enough to go in and save each child individually, even though he saw whatever was haunting the house and what happened to his wife. He also, when it came to the custody hearings and the trial, even though it would have helped him, he didn't let the kids testify because he was trying to protect them still. But also in trying to protect them, he seems to be the one that initiated this distance and divide between them all, because he doesn't want to keep talking about what they saw. He just wants to move on. I also really want to know, because again, the youngest two children were the most affected. Nell, in the first episode, obviously succumbed to the trauma. She was called back to the house and was found dead. Who found her? How did they know she was there? Why were the lights on? So I'm hoping we figure that out or find that out in this episode. But right now I have more questions than things to discuss, so let's get into the episode.
Nellie's in the red room.
What did you say?
That was strange, right back to sleep. Yep, and it all happened to them at the same time, 3:03, the devil's hour.
But she still comes to my room at night and she still sits on my bed, even though Mommy and Daddy said she wouldn't. I don't want to see her again, especially like that. And I don't want to see her in the open castle.
The open castle.
The open casket. You're so smart, you probably know that your grandmother wore a wig. Is that right?
Oh, she's like a therapist, too.
It's a great chance to take all of those pictures in your head of Grandma in the hospital and cover it all up with a better picture. Before she's ever even in the casket, I'm gonna fix her. That's what I do. First, we give her a bath.
Oh, we're gonna see it. Cool.
Finally, I take extra special care to make sure she looks just like she's supposed to.
Honestly, bless the people that do these things, though, because somebody has to. But also, I'm getting the sense that Shirley... Oh, we're back to the mom. Shirley's a lot like Steven, where they're trying to explain things away. They're trying to find a reason for what they saw.
This is our forever house. I design them and
Daddy builds them.
Teamwork.
Just looks like a lot of lines.
I see a family running to a dinner table. This dining room is the heart of the house. Everything flows in and out, see? You know, a house is like a person's body. The walls are like bones, and it all works together to keep us safe and healthy inside.
I don't see any of that.
When you're little, you learn how to see things that aren't there. And when you grow up, you learn how to make them real.
Shirley, will you please have a tea party with me? Everyone keeps saying no.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the murderous ghost, though, I would never have left this house.
How about we play outside instead?
Oh, good big sister. The casting was great. I said it in the last episode, but Shirley as an adult looks exactly like the mother. But also they have the demeanor, too. The way that she was explaining the house to child Shirley and the way Shirley was talking to Max. Very similar demeanor. I was a little Theo growing up. I dressed exactly like that, bucket hats and shorts.
You good, Luke?
Uh-huh.
Don't forget the rule. Lights flash.
Time to come home.
Also, little Luke is so freaking adorable. Oh, are we gonna see the girl? Oh, was that another house on the land?
I know you've worked this house
That chimney?
for so long.
Look at this, I never would have left this.
That master key you had didn't work. You have any other ideas about that red door upstairs?
Afraid not for that one.
Who are they? Is that the hills? Yep. Kinda sounds like a cat. Cat distribution system.
Oh,
If anything happens to them, I stop watching the show.
where's your mommy cat? She couldn't be far. But you're just the cutest little thing.
Is that like an old hornet's nest?
Come here, Cheryl. You gotta see this. It's a wasp nest. Probably an old one.
Very old.
You see, sometimes they build their nests around things. Haven't seen one like this, though.
Built it around this. You know what that is?
Phantom of the Opera?
Halloween mask. Old one.
You see? Nothing scary at all.
Yeah, so it seems like the oldest children's, the trauma and the scary things they see have been explained away. Whereas for the youngest children, there's no explanation for what they were seeing.
We can't just leave them here. The dogs.
Mr. Dudley, have you ever seen those dogs? Do you think they'd go after kittens?
No dogs on the property.
Well, sure there are. The kids have been hearing them at night. They've heard them every night since we got here.
The missus and I, we don't stay on the property after dark. I've never seen dogs.
Please, Daddy. Please.
You really shouldn't take the kittens away from the mothers.
Come on, Mom. I told you I wanted to be Daredevil.
That's why I got you that, so you can decorate it however you want.
But Austin said if our masks don't look good enough, the ghosts will know it's us, and they'll come after me.
Jaden.
There's no such thing as ghosts, and you know that. Watch out for the forever house.
A lot like the mother. I wonder if it looks just like how the mother wanted it to look.
We're in the black, though.
We are, but barely. And Tyson's saying it again, just like last quarter. We have to do better. I'm sorry, you handle the funerals, I handle the books. That was the deal, right?
We're doing more than well enough to give a little relief to families who need it the
It's
most.
not relief, Cheryl. It's charity. More than half of our intakes last quarter were special cases. If it's more than half, it's not special, it's normal.
Hello. I just wanted to drop these off, like we discussed. There's some jewelry in here, some pictures of Mom, like you asked.
Thank you for dropping these by. They'll be really helpful.
What's going on?
What about tomorrow?
A little. Your wife definitely helped, but...
Yeah.
Who's that? There's no such thing as ghosts.
Did you ever connect with Nell?
No.
Oh, she doesn't know yet.
Steve checked in with Luke. He's fine in rehab.
No. How many is this for him?
I don't know. I lost track.
On the phone, you said he had insurance?
Right. We thought so. We can still do this. We're gonna split the cost. He needs to be here.
Is this for Luke in rehab?
Without an insurance policy, it's $6,000 a month, and we do recommend a 4 to 6 month commitment.
The first month, for sure. And I can come back in 2 weeks with some more if I move some things around.
Yeah, I could still do
Just pay
some
me
of
back when you're a famous writer.
You might not want to hold your breath.
You're all set.
I'm gonna need a UA.
Did you know they have horseback riding?
They have horseback riding.
Ooh, this is fancy rehab.
What if they're still...
It's okay if you're not clean. We just need to know how dirty.
Oh, shit. Wish me luck.
We love you so much. You can do this.
Thanks.
So obviously, because this is 6 years ago, they were very close. They did remain very close. But within these 6 years, things must have really broken down because they seemed more distanced in the first episode.
He can do it. He's gonna do it.
Kevin Harris.
I don't know. I kind of like the Captain Lane mask.
Where'd you get those, Allie?
At the mall.
Practically begged me. She has to be like a cool Aunt Theo.
I did not.
Weird. Solo account. His name's on the checkbook.
Oh, it's her husband. Okay.
Ask him. I'm sure it's nothing. I don't want to seem like... I don't know. It's probably nothing. It's just... weird. You should let your imagination get the best of you. That's the first step.
Except she doesn't seem like the type of person to take or to believe the worst thing first.
There's 5 of them like there's 5 of us. That one's me.
You're not supposed to give
Just
cats
enough
milk.
when you drop a little on their nose.
Oh, there's the dogs.
What? I don't even...
Why are you banging on the wall?
I'm not.
You are.
Okay, so obviously the older ones did experience things too.
Hey, what's with the screaming?
There were these loud bangs all over the walls.
I didn't hear it. I don't...
It was so loud, how could you not hear it?
I believe you. Pipes. The hot water pipes. They're old. They can bang and jump in the walls. It's over now, right? It's over.
Thanks.
222.
Steve.
It's Nell.
It's the middle of the night.
She's dead.
Shut up.
She's dead, Joe. She killed herself. So weird. I came home tonight. I was in my living room, and she was...
Well, you're wrong. Someone...
Dad called me.
Well, he's wrong.
I couldn't really hear him because I saw...
No. He wouldn't know. She wouldn't call him.
It's like they never just come out and say the thing like, oh, I saw her in my living room.
He can't do that again. He can't just not tell us what happened. He can't. I told you she was in trouble. I told you to find her. I told you.
It also seems because their dad never wanted to discuss what happened to the mom. That's another reason why they're always trying. The oldest children are always trying to find explanations for things.
Morning.
I don't think all of them are alive.
Wake up.
Found this upstairs. Decorated a little bit for her.
Why?
Well, because she was a very special cat. She deserves a special place to rest.
Can I see her?
Do you want to say something about her? People usually do. It's called a eulogy.
What do I say?
It's up to you. Some people say goodbye.
You know how when you take one of your pictures, you capture something forever? Stories do that too. When we die, we turn into stories. And every time someone tells one of those stories, it's like we're still here.
Well, now we know why she's a funeral director. This is something that helped her to cope with trauma when she was
kitten
younger.
grew up in a tool shed and my room. She was a good kitten, and she never heard a single thing in her whole life, and not many people can say that. Goodbye, little kitty. She's alive.
What?
She's alive.
Okay, I'm right here. It's okay. Yeah.
Oh, that is traumatizing.
I don't think it's a good idea.
It's the right thing.
Why not send her to Carlisle? They'll do a great job there.
I think it's a bad idea too.
Honey.
Is she gonna do the funeral herself?
She's my sister. I'm hosting her funeral. That's that.
This is how she deals with things.
You mean Steven, Luke, Dad? Dad's the reason Nell was so fucked up to begin with, and Luke's probably high as a kite. Does he even know that she's dead? He missed her wedding. We're not gonna let him miss her funeral, too.
Her wedding?
I'm not leaving her in a freezer until Luke gets his shit together. Sweetie, we've talked about this. I promise. This is a good thing. I'll go with you.
It also seems like she processes her trauma by helping others process theirs. Yeah, she was just like Max.
Okay, sure.
I don't want to see her.
Is everything okay? She's just a little scared, I think.
No, that's okay. Here, come with me.
Absolutely not.
Cheryl, she's fantastic.
I promise you, you have nothing to worry about.
You don't know her.
So what happened to her husband?
In the time it will take me to explain to you what to do with her, I could just do it myself. So I'm doing her myself.
This is insane.
I owe her this.
This is too much for anyone.
The hours, the bugs.
The bugs.
I'm doing it, Kevin. I'm gonna fix her.
Fix her in death because she couldn't fix her in life. It's the last thing she can do for her. And she wants to do it. Also, after what we saw with the kitten, I have a feeling we're gonna see something happen with Nell's corpse. It seems so small. Yeah, I do think this is a bad idea. I know that this is something that's helped her in the past. Holding a funeral and a funeral director really helped her overcome trauma, but still, this is a lot.
Can I feed the kittens?
Sure thing. Just remember how I showed you.
Are they still sleeping?
No.
You're taking on too much. You've got to just be able to grieve.
Don't talk to me that way.
I don't even know where Luke is. We've been looking.
You and Dad?
That's right.
You have to get 2 grown men to a goddamn airport. Get it done.
She's doing it herself.
She isn't.
She's doing it herself.
Kittens aren't supposed to be without their mommies.
And they're not supposed to have
No matter
regular
how
milk.
much you love them, you're not their mommy.
What about the little one?
We found it in a new home. We have no idea what was wrong with those kittens. They were very sick.
I don't believe you.
Why would you give away the last one, the only one left?
It's been a minute since you had one of your color storms.
That's the thing. There was no color at all. It was pitch black.
Color storms. Migraines?
It's never come that fast before.
I wish I'd been part of that conversation.
Would you have said different?
Probably not.
Would you have said you had to go to the woods and put this sick little kitten out of its misery? Why the hell did you let her keep those kittens?
Well, I didn't know that they were all gonna die.
You let her keep a box of diseased kittens in her bedroom.
She's affected for the rest of her life.
This was not our finest hour, no doubt.
Sorry.
You're not allowed down here. You know that.
I know. We were just...
Okay.
It's just Auntie Nell.
I know you're curious. I'm sad. I'm sad too. So sad I can't even tell you. What do you want to know?
What are you doing to her?
I just finished embalming her. It helps her look how we remember her.
Why did she die?
Just so sad that she did. She loved you both so much.
Where is she now?
I don't know, Allie. I can tell you what I think, maybe, sometime tomorrow. But mostly I'm just sad. I know you're curious about her, but this part isn't for people to see. Go pick your favorite picture of Auntie Nell from one of the albums. I can hang it at the funeral.
I'm still waiting for something to happen with this body. Her eye's gonna open up like the kittens did.
I'm so excited.
You're gonna look amazing. You already look amazing.
Hey.
Hey, how's Arthur?
Oh, him. He's great. I handcuffed him to a radiator downstairs. He's not going anywhere.
Steve.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to say break a leg.
See, so what happened? Because they seem so close. Oh, they said Luke missed the wedding.
What is it?
Nothing. I should be right back and finish up.
Hold on!
What? Hey, I'm fine. I'm fine. I just wanted to make sure that I got to tell her that I was happy.
Look at me.
What?
Look at me.
Why does he look like Aaron Rodgers? You on peyote, bud?
No.
So you got the day pass?
Yeah. They're very supportive.
Luke, I paid for rehab. Guess who they called when you ran away last week?
I just really want to be here for her.
You should have thought about that before you put the needle in your arm. Here's 100. You can shoot up the rest. I don't care. No more loans, no more treatment centers, nothing.
Everybody has their limits, no matter how loving of a sibling they are. And it's understandable.
You had a perfect wedding, Nellie.
Almost perfect.
I'm sorry.
Yep, the mouth. Just like the kitten. Same beetle. Are the eyes gonna open up now? Just like you remember her.
You fixed her.
Well, that's what I do.
You fixed her. You fixed her.
She fixed her. Is that the mom? What's in the box? We're gonna close in on the little forever home. Okay, so that was episode 2. This was last episode was Steven Sees a Ghost. It was very centered on Steven for the most part, and this one was called Open Casket, and this centered around Shirley, who is a funeral director. I really love the symmetry of the timelines. It doesn't feel too forced or in your face. Like it flows so well. It just makes sense. And we see why Shirley is now a funeral director, because death has been a big part of her life and her grieving process and her moving on process. So first up, I've done kitten rescue before. I follow Kitten Lady. I'm very into cats, obviously, although I didn't have a visit from one this episode, which I usually do. But if you see kittens like that, the mom is just scared. She'll come when you leave, for the most part, when they're that young. But Shirley really seems like someone who is a caretaker. She is the big sister that just loves and cares for her siblings and all living creatures. And she just couldn't leave those kittens there, which, for some people, caring too much is like a blessing and a curse. Because again, had she left those kittens there, maybe the mother would have come back and cared for them and they would have been okay. But she couldn't leave it alone. She had to take them, and then their father just loves them so much and loves his children that he allowed Shirley to do that. And again, never give real milk to cats or to kittens. They can't digest it. It's not good. But the thought was there when she was taking care of them, which I totally get because I'm the same way. But this was her first brush with death, and it was very traumatic. I mean, it's kittens. That's very hard and difficult to deal with, and so many of them, and the bug and the eyes, it was traumatic. But I think she found some kind of closure with the funeral, with her parents explaining to her what a eulogy was and going through the whole process that helped her to process what was happening. And then we also see at her mother's funeral, she was a lot like Max. I said at the beginning, it almost seemed like she was a therapist as well as a funeral director, because she was walking that child, Max, through the process and helping him to explain what he was seeing. And we see that when her mother passed, she also did not want to view the open casket, but the funeral director was calm and took her hand and took her up to the casket so she could see her mother. And she said, "You fixed her." So I'm wondering, did Shirley, we saw her at the end of the episode see her mother, but is that because she saw her mother like that in the house? We only saw Steven rescued from the house. We didn't see what happened to the other children. So did Shirley find her mother? Did Shirley see her mother? What did she mean by "you fixed her"? And then with Shirley wanting to do Nell's embalming herself, we see that, again, I think it just goes back to the whole process of the funeral. It's something that has always helped Shirley grieve and come to terms with death. We also see that she likes the truth. When her mom wasn't telling her exactly what happened, she seemed like more traumatized by that, very upset by that. So when her kids were sneaking in, trying to see what was going on, she was honest with them. She said, "I'm gonna tell you the truth," because obviously she feels like that's something she didn't get from her parents. Her mom didn't tell her the truth about that last kitten, and as she said, her father never told her the truth with with what was going on or what happened to their mother. And then at the beginning of the episode, I did say that the mom always seemed calm, cool, collected, unbothered. And we did see that this episode she had migraines, especially when she was arguing back and forth with Shirley. So obviously not the same picture we got in that first episode. She obviously has some health problems, but what are those health problems related to? Is that just something she's always had? I'm sure we're going to get more of that answered in the future episodes. I'm sure we're going to find out, as with all my questions, but another question I have is what happened within these last few years to make the breakdown of the relationships happen? Because obviously Shirley and Steve have always kind of butt heads in a way, but we're still there for Nell, like at her wedding. But in the first episode, Theo and Steven were both making fun of Nellie, calling her crazy. So what happened? What happened to Nellie's husband? Who was that person sitting on the couch? That's another random question I'm just throwing out there that Shirley saw sitting there when her husband and Max's father walked away. I'm kind of just throwing questions out there now that as I'm remembering them, I should really take notes, but I don't want to look away from the TV because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. But obviously there was a breakdown with these kids. They got further apart. Nellie had some sort of breakdown over the last couple years. What happened there? We're seeing just so much how what happened to them in this house affects them to this day, especially because we've seen Steven and Shirley the most. They just both seem like they did experience paranormal things, but as their father and mother explained it away to them, it seems like that's still what they're doing now. They're experiencing paranormal happenings, but they're just explaining why they're seeing that. And they're not sharing it with each other. Steven saw Nellie in his apartment, but always just came close, but then pulled away and never actually said it when he was talking to Shirley on the phone, because again, they still care for each other and are there for each other, but they're never just quite connecting fully. So another great episode, and I'll see you in episode 3.